I just couldn't wait to go to China to get her.
Love of our children just keeps us moving.
Wow, look, there's two beautiful girls.
I'm Betsy. I'm 16.
I'm Maggie.
Hi everyone. Today we will meet a couple from the United States. Their story begins when they adopted their first daughter from China. The little girl filled their lives with so much joy. They knew they had to adopt another girl. The father went to China and found a very lovely girl. Unfortunately, after the trip, the father got a very serious illness and was unable to walk. This situation went from bad to worse when the father lost his job because of the illness. After partially recovering from the illness, the father started to work to support the family. Although these unfortunate events occurred, the couple never thought to give up on their children. The couple continually tried their best to give their children a great education and unparalleled love. Let us learn more about this incredible family. Let us find out what made them decide to adopt a girl from China.
Well, we were looking into adoption here in the United States, and we were a little older and we were getting frustrated. And one Sunday I'd read an article about Chinese adoption in the Chicago Tribune, and I gave the article to Art and I said, this is it.
And I looked at a beautiful Chinese daughter and I said, let's go for it.
What did you think at that moment?
It was like, I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to go to China to get her.
My friend, who I had known for a long time, he had worked in the computer field with me for many years. He couldn't understand how I felt this way about a child I had not even met yet. And there's a connection there that I can't explain. But I just wanted to get there and I wanted to adopt her, and it was...
You do have the love.
Yes,
and you
that's
think
right.
It's so natural.
And it starts right in the beginning.
Did you see her picture?
Yes.
And then you just love it.
That's
love
right.
Her right
That's
away.
right. That's right. That's
We'd
right.
show everybody, and I would keep it with me all the time. Mm-hmm. We just could not wait to get on that plane and go to China. We even stayed overnight at the hotel here in O'Hare, so we make sure we wouldn't miss our plane.
Oh, okay.
The next day. I know that sounds weird, but...
The family was so excited having their first baby girl from China. They even started planning to adopt another one.
Betsy, our older daughter, kept saying that she wanted a baby sister, and we had decided that that would be a good idea to expand our family. Betsy gave us so much joy, and having another child would be double joy.
Okay, so what happened next?
We went through the process again. We didn't have a lot of money, so we were pretty much hoping that we would have the funds to go through the whole process again. So I thought, well, we'll try. We'll do the best we can. And all things came together, and we were able to, I went to China by myself on our second adoption because I wanted Jane to stay at home with our first child. Mm-hmm. So I went by myself, and so it was a little bit more work being in China by myself, carrying all the the luggage and going through that whole process.
Can you speak Chinese at that time?
No.
Oh,
no.
so how
but
can
we had an interpreter with a social worker that
Okay.
went through the process, and but it all worked out just fine, and it was thrilling to hold my second Chinese daughter in my arms the first time. It was wonderful.
Okay.
And
So what was your feeling when you first saw your second daughter from China?
It was really hard being here in the United States when Art was in China with Maggie. Mm-hmm. It was extremely difficult. I would call them every day, and I'd hear her making little noises in the background and stuff. And when they came in at the airport, we had family and friends. Everybody was there to meet Maggie. I couldn't wait to see her.
Okay.
And she cried the first time she saw me because she didn't know me, and she was very attached to Art. Mm-hmm. But everything worked out. It was really great.
It was a really great moment when the family adopted their second child. However, nobody could have imagined the challenges awaiting this loving family. How could they overcome these difficulties?
Well, when I got back to our country here, I became ill.
Okay.
And I was in the hospital for a month. I became a quadriplegic. So I was paralyzed from the neck down and very ill. And so Jane was...
Do you know the reason?
It was an illness called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And it affects the nervous system. So I became ill with that. And
it was very serious.
It was very serious
right?
illness. I was in the hospital for a month, and I got blood.
Was it threatening your life?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. They gave me blood transfusions, replacing my blood, and because of the way the antibodies attack the nervous system, and what this does, it helps reverse that problem. So I was having that done for a month, and then I was in recovery for about 6 months, and then I went back to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But during that time I was in the hospital, I would think of my family.
I know, so Jan had to take care of the 2 kids, right?
Correct.
By herself. Mm-hmm. And also take care of you.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah,
that's right.
That was very hard.
It was very hard at the time. We didn't have a lot of family support because there were other family members that were ill at the time in the hospital too. Okay. Unfortunately, it happened that way. But it was very difficult.
I know. So at that, maybe in that 6 months, so have you ever feel regret doing this process? Adopting
Never.
the 2 kids?
Never.
Why?
Because as I was going through this, even though it was very difficult, it didn't make any difference. I knew that Art was going to get well. I had a lot of faith that he would get well, and I was doing the best I could with the girls, and they were flourishing. And I'd take them to see Art in the hospital, and they would get all excited to see him. And I don't regret anything at all.
Okay.
And as I look back, it probably was really stressful.
What about you?
It was very difficult.
Yeah, when you were lying down the hospital.
And when I was in the hospital, I would think of a new baby that I had just returned with.
Oh, how old was she actually?
She was 1 year old.
Only 1 year old, wow.
And so it gave me always that strength I was first to get down in the physical therapy area where we had to work to get back on your feet. So I was always motivated to get back and get all my arms and legs moving, and
because you were thinking you have so young children waiting for you.
That's
at
right.
home.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I had a lot of energy. That source of energy to really start moving small at the beginning, maybe 1 step and then 2 steps, and then day after day, just getting all my capabilities back, because I couldn't even feed myself at that point.
What did doctor say about your faster recovery?
He said, the neurologist said, you are a very lucky guy. One of the very lucky ones.
Why?
Well, I've gone to some of the group meetings where other people have had this illness, and they're in wheelchairs and can hardly move.
Oh, for a very long time.
Yes.
Or maybe forever.
Yes, that's right. Permanently disabled in a wheelchair, yeah.
It's actually a miracle.
It
happened to you.
That could be said that, yeah.
6 months later, Art recovered from his life-threatening illness. The doctor said he was very lucky to be alive. Art believed the strength and energy he received from his family, especially his 2 young daughters, helped him make it. Life was continuing. Some things change, while some things never change. So after 6 months, you went back to work, but I heard that you lost job. Is that
Yeah,
true?
what happened was one of the doctors said that I might lose my job because of my illness problems. And it did happen. I did lose my job. It could have been political problems there in the company. But I did lose that job, and I was paid very well.
And
in
when
that
you
job.
had the job, right?
Yes. So being in my early 50s, I was in the computer field, and I did some other computer work, and but it was difficult to recover from that when you're older. The opportunities
Yes, that's
are
right.
difficult.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But I heard that even maybe financial side, it's not like before, but as parents, you still give the best education for your 2 kids, like
Oh yeah.
sending them to learning piano or
Oh yeah.
something like that.
That we were still had the means to send them to private lessons, and I started both of the children. We both started the children studying music at 3 years old. So they
No,
were
at a year old, actually.
well, okay, but those were private school lessons. And Maggie was our youngest one was actually starting to write music when she was about.
She can compose
Yes.
the music. Oh, she's a very talented
Yes,
girl.
yeah. And
And also, she should appreciate her parents because of you too, so she can develop this talent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's true. That's very true. So they appreciate that too, and we appreciate them.
So looking back, what was the source of strength during that difficult times for you?
Well, I mean, there's no question about it. Love.
Love.
Yes. Love for your children gives you that energy to overcome these problems. And
Overcome stress.
we've had a lot of health problems and financial things and all those things. But no, love of our children really overcomes that.
Our daughters are what keep us going. They are their strength, especially, and their energy keeps us going. And their love.
Well, we're older, so that's more difficult, more of a challenge, I think, energy-wise, when you're older physically.
Yeah, and also this kind of love change your life in better way.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh gosh.
There have been some very hard times, but there's no regrets. No regrets at all.
Even though there were some unexpected difficulties, the parents were never angry or bitter at what had happened. They were glad to have survived those difficult times, and as a result, become a closer-knit family. When the parents were talking about their daughters, it was easy to tell they were very proud of them.
Wonderful children, very smart, and
It's just the joy that they've brought.
Are they very
into our
close to
lives.
you?
Yes, very
Yes.
close.
Yes.
We make sure that they know that they can come to us for anything, even if it's something bad that they really don't want to tell us or whatever. They always come to us, and we always try to work it out. whatever it may be. We've been extremely lucky though, because they're really good girls. They're just really good.
Because they have really good parents.
I guess.
Well, I think honesty is a key there. We've always been openly honest with them, and so that open communication has been a positive thing in our relationship with our daughters.
Yeah, so
That's true.
as a teenage, are they very well behaved?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very.
Yeah, we have no problems at all.
About that.
Right.
No problems. Our children are very focused. They know exactly what they want to do.
Even at a very young age?
Well, not the little one yet.
Okay.
Betsy
The
was.
teenage, and she's graduating from high school in a year, so she really knows what she wants to do. She wants to be a math teacher, and so she's very good at math and does very well in school. So we're in the process now of looking at universities for her to go to.
And they are all from China. Do you think they are different compared with the American children?
Well, yes, I think they both, I don't know if it's partly the way they've been brought up or not, but they both seem to have a little more maturity.
They're more mature. They seem to be a little more focused. They're perfectionists too.
Okay.
But I also, my oldest daughter, I remember going over some math problems, and she could figure it out faster than I could read it. Very bright.
She is very smart,
Yes,
intelligent.
yes.
They're Chinese, but I consider them as our daughters. When people ask me about our adopted daughters, I kind of have to think for a minute, because I think of them as our daughters, and that's who they are. You know?
Were you interested in China very much at the very beginning?
I moved to Chicago in my early 20s, and I enjoyed Chinese art.
Okay.
And
You had a
so
lot of
there
that.
were some cultural things that I thought positive about China. So that was part of it too.
Because Chinese arts, right?
Yeah.
All about the
And the food too.
Yeah,
Well, the
Chinese
food,
food.
Chinese food, but of course. But culturally, I was interested in that. So it wasn't difficult for me to make that move. Like when she brought me the picture, I said, "Oh, that's great."
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's right.
And we did right away. Right away. China's also always been a fascination with me. As far as I'm concerned, life began, you know. I mean, it's a lot of history. And it's really interesting to go there. I loved it.
American parents with Chinese daughters came together to become a great family. They experienced happiness, tears, up and downs like every other families. But they are unique. Not because they look different, but because of the unparalleled love the parents gave and the appreciation the daughters returned.
I just love them, so I don't know what else to say.
Well, they're just the people who really take care of you. There's nothing wrong with just being different, because I never really liked fitting in, because if you're fitting in, then nobody sees you differently, and then you're not really an individual.
That's great.